You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. This week on The Biz, our online legal documentation series. And on today's show, Healthcare Power of Attorney, with special guests Frank Divers and Dean Martin from Estate Docs Pro.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm your host, Steve Savant, and we're broadcasting to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain. With me today, day 4, Frank Divers and Dean Martin. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Hi.
Welcome to the
Good
show.
See you again, Steve.
Welcome back. Listen, if you've missed any of our prior episodes and you're dropping in on Thursday's show, I highly recommend you go back to Monday so that you can see this in chronology. Just go out to our site, www.thebiz.com, or actually it's The Biz TV. Wow, everything's changing. It's www.thebiz.tv, and you can watch all the prior episodes on our archives. And I really want you to do it in chronology so you get the idea and the flavor of what Estate Docs Pro is offering. And actually, we're going through a whole educational scene right now with these tapes, these clips we're doing. Hey, that's another thing, isn't it funny? Tapes, now we're doing video, now it's digital, it was analog, everything's changing. We're talking about healthcare directives. Now, yesterday we did talk about financial power of attorney.
Yes.
Healthcare directives, I mean, people are queasy about this because, that means some guy can pull the plug on me, right? So you really want to choose a person who cares, I guess, or really is going to act in your interest.
Yeah, the power of attorneys we talked about is somebody who has power to make decisions on your behalf when you can't make them. And in this case, for healthcare, it's about your health. And that's kind of important to most people. This is probably the most personal choice you'll make. This and your living will of do you want to pull the plug? Under what circumstances? Do you not want to pull the plug? Or do you want pain medicine? Do you want to be given, because pain medicine doesn't work over time. They have to give more and more and more. And, do you want to pull food and fluids? And there's a lot of really difficult decisions. I know I thought I was going to have to go through these when I lost my son, and he actually passed away before we actually had to make the decision. But it's a very difficult decision to make. And you want to make sure that you pick somebody that thinks the way you do and understands what you want to do.
Can you craft this document? You said several things here. I mean, you had a potpourri here of a list. Can I craft this document to address every single issue that you just talked about?
Your living will, actually you can. Because of my experience and my background, I wanted to make sure that we had the most robust options you could. And then your healthcare power of attorney is for somebody who fills in the gaps. Anything that you didn't say what you want, if there's a question, because you can't think of everything. Something strange always occurs. This is the person that when you're unable to speak, you're in a comatose or vegetative state, then they can pick up and run with it.
Frank, when I go on that system, Estate Docs Pro, does it give me some of these things I can select?
Absolutely.
Because what if I don't know anything about this? And I agree with Dean, I should do it, I want to do it, but I'm a kind of a novice at all this.
Well, yes, you can make individual choices for things like you do want to be taken off life support, but you don't want to have food taken away, or you don't want to have your pain medications taken away. You want those, even if in fact it leads to your demise. And so, yes, you make all those individual choices based on the questions that the system asks you, and then where you're unsure about something, there's a tutorial in there that will explain the scenario to you. The other thing that I think is important, Steve, is sometimes people misunderstand the power, the financial power, the healthcare directive power privilege that you have. It's not so much that you're putting that individual in a position where they have to make a hard decision. Their decision will be influenced by the information they get from your medical team. So the medical team would actually be advising you as to what the status of the patient is and where you need to be thinking. And what it really does is it takes a lot of pain off of the family, a lot of pressure off the family. A good example is the Terry Schiavo case, which was national news for a long time because there was no health care directive in place, and the family was squabbling over what to do, what to not to do. It ended up being, it was just a mess. One simple form that many times even doctors recommend that you take care of takes all the pain and all the pressure off of the family itself.
Well, when we come back, we're going to watch a quick clip by attorney Mark Kohler on this, just talking about healthcare directives.
Let's talk about the healthcare durable power of attorney. Now, this is another bell and whistle, important document in your comprehensive plan that a lot of times, sometimes lawyers don't prepare. So again, you're getting a Cadillac version here of documents, and I think you're going to love this. Now, this healthcare power of attorney is just like the financial durable power of attorney, but it's for healthcare. Now, we talked about the living trust, the living will healthcare directive. Make sure you watch that video if you haven't. Because in the living will, you're saying, if I'm a vegetable, pull the plug. But what the financial durable power of attorney says, hey, if I'm still alive and no one's pulling the plug, I still need to give someone authority to handle decisions with the hospital, the doctor, maybe make decisions about certain surgeries or prescriptions. And this is very similar to some of you that have children where you leave town to go to Hawaii and you write down a note. You have, healthcare power of attorney for my kid to take him to the hospital, so you're leaving your kids in someone's care and you want to give them power of attorney to go to the doctor. Well, it's the same story, but you're doing it for yourself. So that if you have any problems with your health care and you can't make a decision, so you're in a car accident, you want your sister who may be a nurse or your brother that's a doctor or just someone you trust, you want to give them health care power of attorney to come in and go to the doctor and go, oh, no. You're not going to do that surgery here, bud. You're going to transfer my friend or brother or sister or mom. You're going to transfer them to this hospital that's better. And then I want to take control of their health care. And they may say, oh, you can't do that. Oh, really? Look at my power of attorney for health care. And so you throw it down and boom, you're in control. And so this is a really, again, a peace of mind document for many of you that want to make sure that doctors don't just run hara-kiri with your decisions in a crisis. You can appoint someone to handle your health care. Now, this person isn't going to pull the plug if you're a vegetable. That's the living will. This is you're in control of my health care as long as I need someone to make that decision for me. So it's an important document. You're going to love it. And another little tab there in your estate plan to help you have a comprehensive plan.
Frank, I thought that was a really great explanation of healthcare directive.
Perfect. It was spot on, as they say. Mark just does an excellent job of educating our producers to know how to best work with their clients.
And there's a lot of things we have to consider.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the nice thing about our system. You don't have to know anything going in. We'll help you with videos and training and information. There's always just one click away from an answer.
I thought it was really intuitive. Remember, you can watch everything we've been talking about. Just go out to estatedocspro.com/thebiz. And remember, you can go out to IUL University for the best training education when it comes to life insurance for retirement income.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Did you know the average 401k runs out of money just 7 to 8 years into retirement? Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications have warned of the difficulty of saving with a 401k. But what if there was a way to create tax-free lifetime retirement income with no stock market risk? Good news, there is.
Living in fear of the next market dive is not the way I want to live my life.
Why would I go out there and take on risk when I don't need to?
I have a lot less stress knowing I can't lose any more of my retirement savings in the stock market.
Call now to receive your free, no-obligation analysis of what this retirement vehicle could do for you, a comparison to your current retirement plan, and a free video that explains this exciting opportunity. Start planning a retirement you can enjoy instead of worrying about future tax increases and stock market losses. Creating income that will last your entire life is the most important thing you'll ever do. Take control of your future. Call now for your free analysis, comparison, and video.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant with Frank Divers and Dean Martin. And remember, you can order today's materials at thebiz.tv. And while you're out there, click on the Backroom Technician icon on the Biz blog for their 30-day free trial offer for the best needs analysis and education material that cover almost every financial scenario. And just a heads up before moving forward with anything that you ever hear in our show, always touch base with your tax advisor, legal counsel, and especially if you're FINRA licensed, your compliance officer. We're saluting the flag. And on top of that, we're talking about healthcare directives, which I think makes me queasy. I had to say it. It makes me a little uncomfortable talking about, I'm telling my wife, I'm telling my children when to pull the plug, what to administer pain medicine. I mean, this is a lot to think about.
It is, but it's better to think about it now. When you get that 2 a.m. phone call that somebody's been in a car accident, that's not the time you want to start thinking about things. Thinking about it when you're calm and collected, and you can put these down on paper. And I found that husband and wife don't always agree. And they didn't know. They've been married for 20 years and they never talked about this. They didn't know that, oh no, I want to pull the plug. Oh, you do? And this actually prompts a conversation they may never have had.
It's the one club, Steve, that we don't want our people belonging to, and that's the If Ida Club.
Right.
Get them out of that club, and you can do it by making these decisions up front.
And I think what the site does is it really walks you through these areas. And this is huge for advisors. We're always looking for new ways to get in front of clients.
Yes.
This is an excellent tool to allow you to get in front for wills, for trusts, for financial power of attorney. Now we're talking about healthcare attorney, and I want to talk about a subject that I don't think I hear many people talking about, and that is this whole idea of spendthrift provisions. I have to say, I had to look it up. I didn't see much on the internet on this.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not called spendthrift. It's called, the prodigal son. It's called that lousy kid that can't keep his finances straight, or in every family we all know that
a black sheep.
They have black sheep.
Okay.
You have kids that maybe they get tried up with drugs, or they just can't drive and they're constantly hitting everything, and so they've got creditors suing them for damages and all sorts of different things. And it's like, if you built your entire life savings, you've built all of this, you want to leave it so your kids can be taken care of. So they maybe they can have a little bit of income, or your spouse. Maybe you want to take care of your spouse. Make sure that your spouse is okay. The last thing you want is creditors out there knocking on the door, and as soon as they see all those big zeros, wanting to take your money. And it's like, you've worked that hard for it. You don't want it. You want it going to your family.
Well, I
not
like
someone
this
else.
because this is kind of like, you can cover the bad seed issues here. Frank, I mean, do you see this a lot of people are really wanting to address this because not everybody has the perfect family?
Oh, it happens all the time. It's that we all, hindsight's perfect,
Right.
perfect vision. And we all, as we, go down the road of life a ways, we understand that we weren't as bright as we thought we were
True.
in our late teens, or even in our 20s, in some cases even in our 30s. So it's you as the adult figure taking control over that scenario to not expose your children, your loved ones, to circumstances, environmental influences that they may fall victim to. You're protecting them from what could be their worst enemies.
Well, let's watch a little bit of video from National Attorney on Estate Planning and CPA Mark Kohler.
All right, now let's talk about a deeper topic here, and that's the creditor protection, spendthrift provisions that might be in a trust. Now, this is an important aspect that I build into every one of my trusts, and of course is going to be included in your package. But I think it's important you understand what it is and how it functions. What a spendthrift provision is it says that if you leave money to your beneficiaries, could be a brother, a sister, a child, a grandson, a niece, or nephew, if this child is a train wreck and has creditors coming after him, the spendthrift provisions kick in and can prevent a creditor from coming at your trust because one of your beneficiaries is claiming bankruptcy or has some problem. And this is a very important issue because you don't want your hard-earned dollars and money to go to a kid's creditor rather than to the child or the niece, nephew, or grandchild. So let me give an example. So let's say that you've set up the trust for regular distributions when they turn 25, 30, and 35. And there's money for school, start a business, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's say the child's cruising along in their 20s and all of a sudden they get into some IRS debt, or they get in a car accident, or something where a creditor is after their money. Now come to find out they've got a crappy job and they don't have a lot of assets at all, but this creditor's like, oh my gosh, they're a beneficiary of this trust, I want that money. Well, what the spendthrift provisions say is this trust is going to be irrevocable at that point once you die, and the trustee is bound to distribute money only for specific reasons. And if a creditor is standing there with their money, with their hand out wanting money, and they're going to get it if you distribute the money, the trustee has the authority to hold back the money. Now, that's a huge, powerful benefit to help your children so they don't get, all screwed up in some sort of creditor issue, and then they lose the inheritance that you had planned for them. Now, there's one other kind of fun part in this. I don't know if you call it fun, but is that, say your child is potentially even going through a divorce, or a beneficiary gets into some sort of marital issue. Well, this spendthrift provision can also prevent you from distributing, the trustee from distributing money that might be a subject of a divorce. Because the child hasn't inherited it yet, it can be withheld from some sort of claim in a divorce. And that's really powerful. And so I think this is a provision that you're going to love having in your documents. It can be enhanced or built upon, but the basic provisions are there. And I think, again, makes your trust head and shoulders above something that you would just download off the web. This is something that's very tailored to your situation and the questionnaire you're going through. So enjoy and have that peace of mind.
Well, Frank, it looks like I could quarantine one of my children if they were bad seed.
Absolutely. In fact, you're doing them a great favor.
Mm-hmm. Dean, did you tell the child that he's getting kind of quarantined?
Well, sometimes you don't know. You get a trust, you put it together, your kids are 3 and 4. You don't know what they're going to be like when they're 20. The nice thing about this is it's there if you need it. If you don't, that's great too.
Well, don't blame mom and dad. That's all I gotta say. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or email me at steve@thebiz.tv. Well, that's the Buzz on the Biz for today. You've been in the zone, the business insurance zone.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.